In this today's science class, we will see chapter 11, that's the human eye and the colorful world. So what is human eye? It is a sensitive organ. We all know it's a very sensitive organ which helps us to see the world around. Okay, we can see the world around through this eye only, right? We have two eyes through which we can see the world around us. Without eye, see, we cannot imagine the world. Only just if you close your eyes, you can feel that by touching certain objects or by smelling something, you can feel the objects, but it is not up to the extent you cannot feel the object until unless you will see the object. We all know that, right? And when you see the colors, then only we feel that we are enjoying the colors. If you see a rainbow, we will say that okay, what a beautiful colors it is. Okay, when you see the white light, we will not enjoying that much, but when you see the rainbow, really we will feel something different, right? Okay, if you see a beautiful flower, if you see whatever it may be, if whatever the eyes senses through its lenses, it will sense the light which is passing through its lens. That image or the object what we will see, that will be transferred to our brain in the form of a pulses. Okay, that's the electric pulses. See, first actually how the human eye will work, it works like a camera. A camera is also fitted with lens which we will use to get the images of the object or images of the world around us, right? The eye's lens system forms an image on a light sensitive screen which is called as a retina, where the image what we will see the images, those images we will get on a light sensitive screen which is called as a retina. Here we will get the actual picture of the images, that too inverted image, that is real inverted image of the object. What we will see, suppose imagine that there is a person standing in front of us. If you see that particular person, his image is formed on this retina in a inverted form. Okay, it will be in a inverted form. Okay, these image which is converted into pulses, it will passes to the brain through this optic nerve. Okay, I am going little bit slower. Please observe the function of each and every part of eye, which is very important. The defect or malfunction of the any of the part which will leads to the loss of the eye. Okay, or we cannot imagine or we cannot distinguish the object properly. Okay, now see, first one, you can see that cornea is there, which is a very thin membrane which is surrounded by this eyeball, which is having a diameter of 2.3 up to 2.3 centimeter. It is a diameter of this eye, which is in shape of sphere, or the shape of our eye is spherical, we can say. Clear, guys? Now when the light enters through this cornea, then again there is a space which we will call it as a pupil. Here also we can observe this black portion, what we will see, this we call it as a pupil, actually through which the light enters. Okay, after entering it through the lens, these rays will form a inverted image on this retina. Okay, so amount of a light entering into the pupil, which will be regulated by a muscular diaphragm which is called as iris. This iris, here we can see this black iris is there na, this we called as a iris. Through this pupil, whatever the light enters, that is the light intensity will be regulated by this iris. Because of this diaphragm, the amount of the light which is enter through this pupil, it will be regulated, because this means sometimes it will get increase the gap of pupil, or it will get reduce the pupil depending upon the intensity of the light. For example, if you are there at a sunlight during some time, okay, outside of your house, suddenly if you enter from sunlight into your particular room, okay, where you are getting a less light, less intensity light, suddenly if you enter into your room, you may not feel the clear picture of your room, right? We can experience this one, okay. This is due to the adjustment of the iris to pass the intensity of the light. Clear? Now, behind this cornea we have a muscular diaphragm, as I told, it is iris which has an opening called pupil, okay. The pupil controls the amount of light entering into the eye. I explained this one. The eye lens helps to focus the image of the object on the retina. This is the lens which will, this lens what we can see here, this is the lens, okay. It is not a glass lens as fitted in a camera. It is not a gas lens, it is a made up of fibrous material which can be stretched or it can be compressed by a muscular tissues which is called as, these muscular muscles which is called as a ciliary muscles, which will hold the lens. The width of the lens will be increased or decreased depending upon the distance of the object from the eye, okay. Based on that only the focal length of the object will changes, okay, for a nearer object or the object which is placed at a far distance from our eye, okay. I will explain that one later in detail. Now, the ciliary muscle helps to change the curvature of the lens and to change its focal length, as I told, because this is a made of fibrous material which can be stretched or which can be compressed depending upon the object distance, okay. Okay, it is clear. Now, whatever the bulge you see here, this gap is filled with aqueous humor which is transparent, okay. This portion what you will see, this is filled with aqueous humor which is again transparent in nature, which will allows the light to pass through this pupil, okay. Now, how the eye will work, what is the function of the eye? The eye lens forms a real inverted image on the of the object on the retina. I told already this one. The real inverted of the image, what we will see, it will be focused on this retina, okay. The light sensitive cells which are present on this retina, then it will produce the electrical signals which are carried by this optic nerve to the brain. There the brain will process the information and sends the message to the eye, and then only we can able to see the object which is present in front of us, okay. Next, the power of accommodation of the eye. What is mean by power of accommodation of the eye? The ability of the eye lens to see both the near and distant objects by adjusting its focal length is called as the power of accommodation of the eye. This is the ability of our eye, the ability of our eye to see both the object which is placed nearer to eye or at a distance, okay, far away from our eye. By adjusting the focal length of that object, the lens will adjust this focal length depending upon the distance of the object, so that we have to get a clear. What is the main objective of this adjusting the focal length? The main objective is that we have to get a clear picture of that particular object, okay. That is the main purpose of changing the focal length. This function is called as the power of accommodation of the eye, okay. The eye lens is composed of a fibrous jelly like material. As I told, this eye lens is made up of fibrous jelly like material. Its curvature can be changed to some extent by ciliary muscles. This I explained already, okay. Due to these ciliary muscles only, this eye lens will keep changing its width. Clear? Now, when the muscles are get relaxed, the lens becomes thin. Means whatever the ciliary muscles present here, these ciliary muscles, when they will get relaxed, means they are moving apart, so that this lens what is present here, that will become thin lens and elongated, okay. So that what will happen now, the more light is passes, okay, through this lens, okay, and its focal length increases, and when the muscles, due to this what will happen, the focal length will get increased, and when it is get compressed, this width has been reduced, hence the focal length will get reduced, okay. Then what is near point? There is a minimum distance at which the eye can see the objects clearly is called near point, or least distance of distinct vision, okay. So what is a near point? It is a point at which our eye can see the object very clearly, is called as a near point. Suppose for your eye, imagine that you are holding certain object. Imagine you are holding a pen in your hand, okay, you are holding some pen in your hand. If you take this pen towards your eye, if you are holding towards your eye, up to certain distance, right, up to certain distance you can see the clear picture of this pen. When it is move still nearer to your eye, you cannot feel the clear picture, it will become blur, or you can able to see the two pens, right, okay. There are two pens will be visible, and sometimes if you take nearer again, you will feel strain or some pain on your eyes, right, okay. So that distance up to which we can see the object, nearer object very clearly, this we call as a near point, guys, okay. Then what is the far point? This is the farthest, okay, it is a farthest distance up to which the eye can see the object clearly is called a far point of the eye. So whatever the object which is present far away from the person, okay, up to which he can see the object very clearly, that distance we call it as a far point of the eye, okay. For a normal eye, it is between, suppose imagine if a normal person who is having a distinct vision, means clear vision, you don't have, if you don't have any defect in his eyes, then he can able to see the objects which is present between 25 centimeter and infinity distance. Okay, the object which is present in between 25 centimeter, because this is a nearer point. Okay, and this is the far point. Okay, the object which is present between these 2 points, a man can able to see. Okay, next. Okay, I hope so far you have understood. Now let's see what are the defects of the vision and their correction. Okay, first one, myopia or near sightedness. Okay, what is this myopia or near sightedness? It's a defect of the vision in which a person can see nearby objects clearly, but he cannot see the distant objects clearly because the image is formed in front of the retina. Okay, so the main purpose of the retina, what is the purpose or the function of the retina? On this retina we will get a inverted image of the, what is the function of the retina? Retina, whatever the object which is present at a certain distance from the eye, that object will emit the lights on this retina passing through this lens, will get a inverted image of the object. Okay, here the retina which is having a numerous cells which will convert the light intensity into electrical pulses, then that intensity of light will convert it to electrical pulse, then that passes to the brain. Okay, then after processing the image, again brain will sends back the image of the object through this optic nerve, then we can feel the exact shape, size or color of that particular object. Okay, in nearsightedness or myopia, what will happen? Our eye, it cannot see the objects which are placed distance from the eye. It can be able to see only the objects which are present nearer to the eye. Why? Because whatever the image which has to be fall on this retina, due to this lens it is formed here, because whatever the object here formed on this particular distance, it cannot be converted into the pulses or it cannot be transferred to the brain. Due to this, the person who is having a myopia defect, he cannot sense the object which is present at a far distance from him. Okay, understood? So in order to overcome this defect, we will use the concave lens. Okay, now whatever the myopia defect what I explained so far, why it will cause? It may be increase in the curvature of the eye lens, or it is increase in the length of the eyeball. Okay, here you can see this eyeball, it has got increased, so that what will happen when it is increased, whatever the distance I told, this is 2.3 centimeter. Okay, or the focal length of our eye is almost 2.5 centimeter. When it is increases beyond this limit, the object which has to be formed on this retina, it will form here somewhere before that retina. Due to this, it cannot be transferred to the brain. So it will be cured by using concave lens. Because of this concave lens, what will happen? It will focus the light, okay, on the retina, so that we will get a clear object of that particular picture. Okay guys, now next defect is the hypermetropia So what is meant by hypermetropia or farsightedness? A person who is having this defect, he can see the object which are placed with object at a certain distance, but he cannot see the objects clearly which are nearer to him. He cannot see the objects which are nearer, but he can see the distance which are at far distance from him. Why? Because here in this defect of eye or farsightedness, whatever the picture he has to get on this retina, instead of following the image, inverted real image on this retina, it will form here. Means this focal length has got increased now here. This is got increased. Why? The reason may be the decrease in the curvature of the eye lens. Here it has got reduced, or decrease in the length of the eyeball. Actually the distance should be 2.3 centimeter. If it is get reduced beyond this limit, suppose if it is 2.0 centimeter, then this will be whatever the image will form, it has to be formed which on this retina, it will form at a distance 0.3 centimeter, okay, beyond this retina. Again due to this we cannot feel the real picture of the object. So it will be overcome by using the convex lens. By using the convex lens, what will happen? Whatever the picture, okay, will sense from the distance, here the real inverted picture will get on this retina. Again it will be passed to the brain. There it will get processed. Again it will give back the signals to sense that particular object, guys. Okay. Next, presbyopia. What is this presbyopia? Is a defect of vision in old people. Okay, in old age people, usually these type of the defects will occur. This is due to increase in the distance of a near point. So what is the near point? As I told already, in a distinct vision or a normal vision, actually this near point is 2.5 centimeter. We all know this one. This will get increased, means it may increase to 3.5 centimeter. Means a person or a aged person, he can able to see the clear picture of the object which is there at a distance of 3.5 centimeter instead of 2.5 centimeter. If it is comes to 2.5 centimeter, he cannot imagine or he cannot distinguish that object clearly, or he cannot see that object clearly. Only object which is placed at a distance of 3.5. Just imagine, I am giving an example, this one. So this will happen. Why it will happen? This will happen due to the weakening of the ciliary muscles. What is the function of ciliary muscles? As I told, it will holds the lens, whatever the lens we are having in our eye, it will hold. Depending upon the object distance, it will get relaxed or compressed. Okay, due to this lens also it will get elongated or it will get compressed, right guys? Okay, when these muscles, ciliary muscles, are getting weakened, then due to this what will happen? It is decrease in its flexibility of the eye lens. It can be corrected by using suitable convex lens. We can overcome this problem. Okay, sometimes they are not able to see both nearby and distinct object. Okay, this will also happen. So it can be corrected by using bifocal lenses. What is mean by bifocal lenses? You can observe for somebody, you might have seen that whatever the spectacles they are using, it is having both convex lens and concave lens. Okay, This type of the lens you can observe. This is the convex lens and this is the concave lens. Okay, so for a near distance they will use a convex, and for a far distance what they will use, concave lens. Okay, so considering both convex, these type of a bifocal lens consisting of a concave and convex lens. The upper part is a concave for a correction of a distance vision, and the lower part is made of convex lens, which is made for correction of near vision. Clear? This concave for far vision. Clear, guys? Then, so this is what we have studied so far. The function, what the human eye, what is the function of human eye, how it will work. Okay, what are the main parts. Here there are so many other parts also there, that is not much important for you guys for your examination point. These are the basic points you should understand. What is the retina? Retina is a light sensitive screen, right? Okay, where we are get a real inverted image. Okay, so this is important. Okay, what is iris? It is a diaphragm, okay, which will control the size of the pupil, through which, again, what is pupil? Through which the light intensity or light waves or light rays passes through lens, and it will get a inverted image on the retina. Okay, this is the lens. Again, it is made up of fibrous jelly material. It is not a glass, it is a fibrous jelly, made of fibrous jelly material. Okay, which can be elongated or compressed by ciliary muscles which holds the lens. Clear, guys? Okay, cornea, it is a thin membrane which is present on the outer surface of our eyeball. Okay, what is the shape of the eyeball? The shape of the eyeball is spherical, and what is the approximate diameter of this eyeball? It is 2.3 centimeter. You should know these are the basic, very important topics for your examination point of view. Okay, then we have seen what is the power of accommodation of the eye, then defects of a vision and their correction also you have seen so far. Now coming to the light, what exactly the refraction of a light? Already in different phenomena of light I explained what is reflection, what is reflection, what is refraction. Okay, you all people know what is dispersion, then what is scattering. Okay, you all know this one. So first one we will see what is the refraction. Okay, what exactly refraction means? Refraction nothing but it is a bending of a light. So what is refraction mean? Refraction means it is a bending of light, right? So when bending of light takes place, when the light rays passes from one medium to another medium, one medium that is which may be lighter or denser to another medium which may be either lighter or denser. Okay, suppose if a light ray passes from air to glass or air to water, that is from air is lighter and glass here it is a denser, so here bending of ray takes place, that we call it as a refraction phenomenon. Imagine here they have given a prism, okay, glass prism, through which a ray is passed. This is a incident ray. Okay, when this ray is passes, due to the density of air which is light, okay, and here glass which is denser, what will happen? The ray which has to be passing through this prism, it will get bended towards the normal or away from normal? It is towards the normal. This is the normal n dash. This is the normal. Normal in the sense a line which is drawn perpendicular to the plane. Imagine this is A, B, C. A normal drawn through this point which is passing through the prism. This is the first point. Imagine this is E. Okay. To this E point, if you draw a perpendicular line, this we call it as a normal. Okay. Now, the ray which has to be supposed to be passed through this line, this has to be passed in a straight line, right? We all know that a light is always moving in a straight line path, in a particular medium, unless until it will not change or it will not pass to the some other medium, it will be in a straight line motion. Okay, you should remember this one. Okay, suppose to it has to be move along with this line, but due to the change in medium, this will bend towards the normal. Okay, at a certain angle. This angle we call it as the angle of incident. This angle we call it as the angle of incident. Okay, so this is the incident ray, this is the angle of incident. When it passes through the prism, it will get bent towards the normal. Again it will pass like this. Again after reaching this plane AC, it will coming out from the prism. When it comes out from the prism, due to the change in medium, again from denser to the lighter medium, when it passes from denser to the lighter medium, this deflection, this bending of a light takes place, which is away from this normal. Imagine this is M and M dash. So it will move away from this normal. Okay, then this angle we called as a angle of emergence. Okay, so always remember this point, the angle of incident is always equal to the angle of emergence. You should know this one. Okay, now if somebody asks how much deflection it has undergone from a incident to the emergent, this is the angle which we called as a D. This angle we call angle of deviation. Okay, actually this has to be move along this line, but it has bended this much from, you can say point, this is F. Okay, so from here it has bended this much. This is the angle of deviation. Clear, guys? Now, so when a monochromatic line, when a monochromatic light passes through this prism, the refraction phenomenon takes place. Suppose instead of monochromatic means single color. Mono means single, chromatic means color. Single color, particular any single color passes through the prism, it will undergo the phenomenon of refraction. Suppose if a white light is passes through the prism, what will happen? If a beam of white light which will incident on this prism, it will undergo a phenomenon called dispersion. It will get dispersed into 7 color, because a white light is it is not a monochromatic, it is a polychromatic line. Poly means many colors. A white light which is having many colors. Okay, it will get dispersed. What are the colors it will get dispersed into? There are 7 colors, which is called as a Weber. So these 7 colors we also sometimes called it as a rainbow, but actual name for rainbow is a spectrum. Okay, so this phenomenon is called the dispersion. Okay, here what will happen? The dispersion of white light will takes place. So this spectrum of white light has colors white, violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange and red. All you know, this we call it as a waveguide. Okay, the red light bends the least and the violet bends the most. The red light bends least and violet bends more. Why? Because here the wavelength of a red light is more when compared to the wavelength of violet, which is smaller. The wavelength of violet is smaller when compared to the wavelength of red, which is at a larger side. Now, because of the longer wavelength, it will bends less because it will move at a faster rate. What is the wavelength again? What is wavelength? This is one wave. Okay, this distance we call it as a wavelength, expressed in a unit called lambda, right? You know, this we call it as a amplitude of the wave. Okay, I'll explain this in detail in a light chapter. Okay, now so try to understand this one. Due to wavelength only, the bending of light takes place. This wavelength, which is at a higher side, our red light is having a more wavelength. Due to the bending of red light is less as compared to the violet, which is at a more angle of bending. Okay, then if there is another prism which is placed adjacent to the first prism 1, imagine this is prism 2, what will happen? When white light is passes through this particular first prism, we all know it will undergo dispersion, right? It will undergo dispersion. Again, when it coming out from this, we all know here we will get a waveguide. Okay, again this waveguide is passing through the another prism which is named as P2. In this, what will happen? Here whatever the right light beam which is got diverged, again it will get combined at this point. Again at output we will get a single light, that is a white light. Okay, so this phenomenon is called as a recombination. Here what will happen? Recombination of a light takes place. Okay, clear? Now, so how this rainbow will form? The rainbow also we call it as a spectrum. During these rainy seasons, right, during the rainy seasons we can feel the formation of this rainbow. Why it will form? We all know that it will form the first based on the phenomena of dispersion. Okay, in atmosphere during rainy season there is a numerous tiny, means very small air molecules which is present, right, which is having a moisture in it, This will act as a prism, a air molecule which is having a moisture content in it, it will act as a small prism. Due to this, what will happen? And the first incident ray, it will undergo refraction, it will get dispersed again into 7 different colors, right? It will get phenomenon of dispersion. After dispersion, what will happen? At the another end of a air bubble, it will undergo total internal reflection will takes place. See here, the different phenomena occurs in a single molecule. Okay, here first what will happen, the refraction of a light takes place, that is bending of light takes place, then it will get dispersed to into 7 different colors. Again these 7 colors it will get total internal reflection by the another surface of this air bubble. Again when it is coming out, it will undergo refraction. Then when it comes out, again there is a Vibgeier effect, or there is a spectrum effect which will seen by a observer who was standing on the earth surface. Clear? So I hope you understood this one. Okay, so this can be, you can see here this one, this is the white light which is incidenting on this air bubble. Okay, this white light which is coming from a sun passes through this air bubble. After that what will happen here, what are the phenomena takes place, refraction, dispersion and total internal reflection. Total internal reflection takes place. Due to these effects we can feel the rainbow. What we can see? We can see the rainbow during these rainy seasons. Clear guys? Next phenomenon which is called as a atmospheric refraction. What is mean by atmospheric refraction? Here see, this phenomenon we also name it as a twinkling of star. Due to this atmospheric refraction we will feel that twinkling of stars. Twinkling is nothing but blinking. In a normal words we can say that a blinking of star. Why it will happen? See, actually our observer is standing, imagine he is standing on the earth surface. When you look at the star, whatever the rays coming out from the star or the rays which is emitted by the star continuously, it will pass through the atmosphere layers, right? So on our earth surface we have a 5 different layers. We all know this one. What are those 5? Stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and exosphere. Okay, these all layers of the earth are in moving condition, right? All are in moving, right? And there is a difference in temperature. When there is a difference in temperature, what will happen? When there is a difference in a temperature, again there is a change in a molecular bonding. Due to that, some layer which is denser and another layer which is lighter. When a light passing through the different mediums, what will happen? The refraction of a light takes place, that is bending of light takes place. Okay, now see, when light enters through these different layers, it will get bended to certain extent, it will get again bend, it will go again bending, so finally it will reaches our eye. So when you trace in a reverse direction, when you trace the reverse direction, whatever the path of the light, so actually when you trace in a reverse direction, it will reach here. Okay, means we will feel that star is present here, but actually star is it in this position. Okay, that is the real position of the star is here, but the what we will feel, that we call it as the apparent position. When we will trace in a reverse direction, we will feel that the star is here. This small gap, what we will feel, this gap, because of this distance we will feel that the twinkling of star takes place because of the shifting of the position of the star from real position to the apparent position. We will feel that because when a ray is emitting from the sun, okay, from this real position, when it reaches our eye, when we trace in a reverse direction, we will feel that sun is here, but actual sun is here. So this shifting will takes place. Due to this, the twinkling effect will takes place. But the moon, you may ask that, sir, the moon is nearer to earth, right? This is the, imagine this is the earth surface, observer is here. In a night, the twinkling of stars takes place, right? But what about this moon? Why it is not taking place? Even though the lights we are getting from the moon, even it will undergo refraction. But what will happen, in order to trace in a reverse direction, because it is very nearer to earth as compared to the stars, because even though there is a apparent position of the moon is there, but it will get overlapped. There is no shifting of position much in moon case as compared to the star case. Because of that, we will not feel that effect of the twinkling as in case of a moon when compared to the stars, guys. Clear? Then, so twinkling of a star takes place due to the which phenomena? That is atmospheric refraction. Due to the atmospheric refraction, we will feel the twinkling of star. Okay. So here you can observe, here this is the earth surface. When a light is passing through different layers of earth from the sun, the light which is coming here, because this portion there is no atmospheric layer, this is a vacuum. In vacuum, it will move along a straight line path. Again, when it enters into the different layers of earth surface, what will happen? It will undergo refraction, that is bending will takes place. Finally, it will reach the earth surface or the observer who is standing on this earth. When we trace in a reverse direction, the position of the sun is in its apparent position, right? Due to this shifting of this distance, we will feel the twinkle effect. Clear? Next, then there is a one more phenomenon we can observe that we call it as a advanced sunrise or delayed sunset. What is this advanced sunrise and delayed sunlight phenomena? As imagine on this earth observer, or we are standing here in the morning, even though before the sun rises, above this origin, this is the origin which is drawn parallel to the human eye. Okay, actually we have to feel that the sun is at this position, but the real position of the sun is below this origin. Why? Because see, this delay is almost 2 minutes. First you try to understand this one. This is a 2 minutes. Why? Before 2 minutes itself we will feel that sun is rised from the east. Because of this, again the phenomenon of refraction. See, again the light, actually when the light is passing from the sun through this, first initially it is a vacuum, again there is a different atmospheric layers is there, actually it has to pass through these layers. This is the real direction of a sun ray. Actually it has to pass in this direction. due to the atmospheric layer or change in the density of layer, it will get bent towards the earth surface, okay, and it will reach the human eye. Clear? When you trace the reverse direction, when you trace in a reverse direction, we will feel that sun is here, hence we will feel that, okay, sun has got already rised, okay. And there is the same phenomenon, why we will feel that even after the sunset, actually sun has set towards west, even after sunset we feel that sun is still above the origin because of this refraction phenomenon only, okay. Due to this phenomenon, usually we will feel that during sunrise and during sunset, still we will feel the sun's position is above the origin, okay. So then scattering of light, what is mean by scattering of light? See, here you can observe the different pictures. Suppose if you take this picture, a light enters in the morning, if you can feel that this one through the windows, we can feel that there is a light rays entering into house. Actually we cannot sense or we cannot feel or we cannot see the actual rays of a sun. Usually in a normal day we will get a numerous sun rays, right, but when you stand outside you cannot feel that. Only when the light passes through this window or in between the trees, because there is a, when there is a obstacles or when there is a any dust particles to the path of the light rays, then only we can feel the difference, because there is a numerous number of sun rays which is coming into earth surface here, okay. Imagine here the earth surface, because of the dust particle which are present in our atmosphere, okay, some of the rays it will get absorbed by those dust particle, remaining sun rays which is passing through those dust particles in between, it will reach the earth surface. Because of this we will feel that there is a sun rays which are entering into the room, or in this case what will happen, it is enters into the earth surface through these trees, okay. Here not only that, if you hold certain different colors of tubes here, you can feel that that particular light, okay, emerging out of this tubes or bottles, whatever it may be. So this is because of the scattering of a light. This effect we will call as a Tyndall effect. What we call it as a Tyndall effect. So what is mean by Tyndall effect? When a beam of light passes through a colloidal solution, okay, the path of light becomes visible due to the scattering of light by the collided particle. So when it collides on the dust particle or whatever the particles present on this particular path of this rays, then the scattering of light takes place. Due to this the Tyndall effect will takes place, okay. Then the color of the scattered light depends upon the size of the scattering particles. So very fine particles will scatter blue light, larger particle will scatter the different colors of a light, okay. So when it passes through particular color, okay, you can feel that that color will get scattered in our room or around that particular object, okay. So due to this phenomenon only, due to this scattering of light only, we will feel that our sky is in blue color, okay. So now tell me why the color of the sky is blue? Because of scattering of a light. So what is mean by scattering, all we know. Then even after getting scattered, Why the color of a sky is only blue? Why not another? Why not it is red color, or why not it is green color? Because when the white light splits to waveguide, that is the spectrum, violet to red, as I told, the wavelength of red is longer as compared to the wavelength of violet, which is very small. Okay, so here in this, the color of blue color which is present in this waveguide, it will get more scattered as compared to another colors which are present in this waveguide. Due to this, we will feel that the color of sky is blue. So here one doubt will arise. As I told, violet is having a very small wavelength as compared to red. So why not we are feeling the sky color as violet or indigo instead of blue? Okay, we will have a doubt that why not violet, because violet is having a very small wavelength, right? Is it right? Then why not violet? Why exactly? Why only it is blue color? Actually, even violet is having a smaller wavelength and it will scatter more. There is a two distinct reasons, or we can say that there are two reasons why we will feel only blue color. Okay, the sky color is blue, because first thing we can say that whatever the scattering of light takes place, or the whatever the intensity of light coming from the sun, here the blue is more energetic as compared to violet or indigo. Here the intensity of light coming out of the violet is less as compared to the blue from the sun. That is the one reason. And the second reason is that our eye, okay, it can sense blue color as compared to violet color. So it will sense more blue color as compared to violet color. Due to this, what will happen? We will feel that the the color of the sky is blue instead of another color. Okay, so I already asked in the previous class that suppose the color of sky for an astronaut was standing on a moon surface, what is the color? You will feel the color of the sky is black, because there is no atmosphere here, and due to that there is no scattering of light takes place. Hence the color of sky from or any planet or moon, the sky color is black. Okay, because there is no atmosphere present on the moon surface. Clear guys? I hope so far clear. If you have any doubt, you just let me know in the comment box, or you take my number, WhatsApp number, or you can text to that number. Okay, this is WhatsApp number 7483022327. You can text to this through WhatsApp if you have any doubt. Okay, I will reply to that. So this is the phenomenon of scattering of light takes place. Here you can observe this, because red is having a more wavelength, it will move at a faster rate. Okay, there is no scattering of light takes place. Here only blue color light will get more scattering. Where it will get scattered? About 18 miles up, light enters the air molecules that scatter the blue light until it's coming from all the parts of the sky. Okay, here this is a vacuum where the light rays passes in a straight line direction. Clear guys? So next, what is the color of the sky at sunrise and sunset. We all know that during daytime sun looks white in color, right? Only during the sunset or sunrise we'll feel the color of sun as reddish. Why? What is the phenomenon? Why not it is some other color? Why not it is blue, or why not it is green? Why it is red? Again, during a sunrise or sunset, because the rays is coming in a straight line path to the observer, what will happen? See here, at the sunrise and the sunset, the sun is near the origin, as I told, and the light from the sun travels to the thicker layers of the atmosphere and for a longer distance. Okay, then that here what will happen? Near the origin, most of the blue light and the shorter wavelengths are scattered away by the particles of the air, and the red light and the longer wavelengths reaches our eyes. So the sun appears reddish at the sunrise and sunset. Okay, here the phenomenon what I told, when it is ray enter from a lighter medium to denser medium, what I told, this is a normal, it will get bend towards the normal. Again from a denser medium, when it is coming out from the denser medium, it will go away from the normal. This is M, M dash, N dash, N. If you imagine, these two are the normal. In a first incident, when it enters to the denser medium, it will bend towards the normal. Again, when it leaving the denser medium to the rarer medium or lighter medium, it will go away from the normal. Okay, here due to shorter wavelengths, as I said, this blue color light, okay, which is scattered more, it will go away from the earth surface, it will go away. This blue or violet or green, it will go away, and this red, which is having lesser bending, it will bend towards the origin. Hence we will feel that during the sunrise and sunset the color of sun is reddish. Okay, clear guys? Good. So this completes your 11th chapter, that is human eye and colorful world. Okay, so if you have any doubts, you please come back to me through WhatsApp. We will have a question and quiz session in our next class. Okay, thank you guys.